Before we continue with this video, my friends, what was that game just now between the Netherlands and Sweden? Sweden was playing well, taking a lot of shots, dominating too, pressing high, man, doing a high press, man, unreal. But the Netherlands would go there and score goal 2-0 right away. Then Sweden kept pressing, playing well. Then the Netherlands went there, goal. Then Sweden found one. It was 4-1. Then the Netherlands at the very end scored the fifth goal. Man, let me tell you, the Netherlands crushed Sweden, but Sweden didn't play badly. Sweden was even trying to react, trying to play, which shows the potential, the firepower. Even, man, the Netherlands finishing, the quality of the Netherlands. Look, this game from the Netherlands was scary. We've already seen the Netherlands playing well, Germany playing well, England playing really well against Croatia. We've already seen Argentina playing well. My friends, this World Cup is tough, Tough. Brazil scored 3-0 against the mighty Haiti, didn't play soccer until about 20 minutes in, wasn't playing good soccer. Yeah, man, I think after that there was some improvement, right? Even Rodrigo Caetano said the first half was good. I think from the 20th minute when the first goal was scored, things got better, but it's still not enough. It's still very little. And by the way, Brazil could face this Netherlands team, right, from Sweden's group. Brazil could face this Netherlands team. Look, man, there's Sweden too. Sweden, for example, has 3 points now. They have a goal difference of 0. They face Japan, but if Sweden manages to get a draw with Japan, depending on what happens there with Japan, with Tunisia and all, we don't know how things will be. Suddenly, Sweden could go through in second place to another tough opponent. And what if Brazil doesn't finish first? They get the Netherlands. What a wild scenario, my friends. On top of the logistics, imagine Brazil facing the Netherlands in the round of 16. A tough match. So, who do you think Brazil will play? I just want to remind you that you can find, there are 25,000 little lions in the Leão Infusões boxes, our sponsor here. I want to invite you to look for your little lion in the Leão Infusões boxes. There are several types of lions. Man, and you're also there drinking the best tea in Brazil, man. And Leão, right? There's nothing more carioca than Leão. And nothing more Brazilian than Leão. Leão Infusões with Paparazzo Rubro Negro. Roll the intro. Olha, hey, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, hit the bell, and leave a like. Thanks for your support. Greetings, Rubro Negro. This is Flamengo. We have the information here before we continue with the transfer market coverage about news from Mengão. The Brazilian national team will have an important confirmed absence for the match against Scotland. Rafinha is out of the match against Scotland after feeling pain in the back of his right thigh during the 3-0 victory over Haiti. The forward left the field still in the first half right and has already started treatment. According to information from Cassetta KZTV, the concern goes beyond the national team's next match. Number 11 will undergo tests to assess the severity of the injury, and there is still no set date for his return to the field. So the injury is confirmed, okay? Yeah, the player suffered an injury exactly in the right hamstring and is out of the game against Scotland and could miss more matches, including possibly being cut from the World Cup, right? He might be out of the World Cup, okay? With Rafinha's absence, Carlo Ancelotti should make changes in the offensive sector already for the match against Scotland. It's a decisive match. Brazil needs the result, right? Even to finish first and avoid facing the Netherlands, right? Is Japan tough? Yeah, but you saw how the Netherlands is doing, right? Now, it doesn't help, guys. Let me tell you something. There's no point in putting it off too much either, okay? This thing about putting it off too much, like, I'll postpone it. I will. I don't want to face the Netherlands now in the round of 16. If we're going to lose, let's lose right away, man. But maybe facing them when Brazil is already in better form, already playing better. I'll tell you guys, honestly, I don't like to fool myself, okay? And there was a statement, a comment from Hernanes, right, that I saw talking specifically about Brazil. Forget about those past titles and everything else. That Brazil has to think that now it has to understand what Brazil is doing wrong today, really, right? See all its flaws, all its problems. To forget that it was already 5-time champion and try to make history now, that was also the mistake in 2014. thinking they were going to beat Germany playing at home, didn't even need to have Neymar. They were going to beat Germany no matter what. No, they should have thought like this. Look, Germany is playing better soccer than us, right? Let's play defensively. Let's take action from the beginning and avoid being surprised like before. Yeah, look, Neymar took another important step in his recovery. In New Jersey, number 10 did some ball work alongside Alexandre and returned to activities on the field under the supervision of the coaching staff. The forward, yet to debut in the World Cup, is still recovering from the calf injury that sidelined him in the team's opening matches. The expectation is that Neymar will keep improving physically in the coming days to increase his chances of being available to Carlo Ancelotti. He should be available against Scotland, okay? At least that's the forecast. He is still following the recovery plan set by the Brazilian national team's coaches. And look, Flamengo, right? Now the transfer market is going to take off, my friends. Now the transfer market is going to take off. Why? Because it's starting. The window is about to open. The window, the World Cup going on. The clubs trying to strengthen themselves. There was a lot of talk that Cruzeiro was signing everyone, but I didn't see it. I didn't see it, man. I didn't see anything else. And then, at first, as soon as it came out that Flamengo was going to face Cruzeiro, all anyone talked about was that Cruzeiro was going to sign players. Everyone, a bunch of fans, even pressuring Flamengo's management and telling you, look, Flamengo is going to sign players, Flamengo is going to scout, Flamengo is going to make opportunity signings, right? And Flamengo is going to look for some player, even if it's paid in installments with a down payment, right? And installments. But Flamengo is going to look for a good signing. Flamengo is able to make a good signing. BAP himself said they can. But Boto will have to do a different kind of deal, paying in installments. All right, so look, we actually have the news here, man, from the journalist Alexander Vieira, okay? Information from Alexander Vieira that Flamengo has made progress in a move for David Romero and that Jose Boto is leading the negotiations. And I have some information here. Okay, I respect Alexander's reporting. But what I've been told is that the South American young striker Flamengo is negotiating for in Argentina is a different player. It's not David Romero from Tigre, okay? Flamengo is also negotiating with him, but the player they've reportedly made progress on is someone else whose name hasn't been revealed yet, okay? So stay tuned for that. There's a possibility of David Romero, okay? The article that came out even mentioned that he was in Rio de Janeiro recently, and there's also the possibility of signing another forward, okay? So, according to Alexander Vieira, Flamengo's sporting director, he presented a project to David Romero's staff while Tigre is playing hardball in talks over the forward, okay. This is also information from RTI Esporte, okay, information also brought by RTI Esporte. The negotiations are still in the initial phase, but they have already moved on to stages considered important behind the scenes. Last week, the Portuguese director met with the striker's agents to present the club's sports project and explain how the athlete would fit into the plans for the upcoming seasons. Internally, Flamengo believes that David Romero has qualities that please the coaching staff and at the same time offers potential for appreciation, meaning Flamengo could profit from a future sale. He's a young player, right? The board believes that the striker can provide an immediate sporting return without giving up the possibility of a significant sale in the coming years, okay? So, Jose Boto is leading the negotiations according to this information. The feedback received by the representatives was considered positive. So much so that Flamengo has already assigned professionals to continue talks directly with Tigre, aiming to speed up a possible deal before the official opening of the transfer window. Another detail that caught attention behind the scenes was the presence of the striker. So in Rio de Janeiro, it was just like I told you guys. Okay, so yeah, Tigre is making things difficult, just like everyone who negotiates with Flamengo, right? They make it hard, and we're bringing you these updates. Yeah, the Argentine team wants $5 million to release the center forward. The amount is seen as compatible with the player's recent rise in value since he's going through a great phase and has established himself as one of the main offensive references in the Argentine championship. Besides Flamengo, clubs from different markets are monitoring David Romero's situation. Teams like Boca Juniors, Austin FC, Cruz Azul, Toluca, and Cagliari, they are keeping an eye on the striker, increasing the competition for the player who has scored 11 goals in 18 matches for Tigre. And he has a contract valid until December 2030, okay? So these are the updates regarding David Romero. But, Paparazzo, is there anything certain? Is there anything we should really take into consideration? All of this is important for us to mention to show that Flamengo is active in the market, okay? Look, another important piece of information for us to bring here is that Jorge Carrascal, I've already told you that he was. The board was disappointed with the fact that he didn't play, that he didn't stand out in the World Cup Flamengo. Expecting the club to be able to sell him, Jorge Carrascal asked to leave Flamengo after the competition, right? After playing in the competition for Colombia, if he even gets to play, right? According to Flazuero, our friend Flazuero, Flamengo is willing to sell the Colombian forward, but only with foreign clubs. So Flamengo is working out Jorge Carrascal's sale. The board rules out any transfer to Brazilian teams, avoiding strengthening direct competitors. Yeah, in the past, Flamengo turned down a 20 million euro offer. I remember I was the one who brought this information at the time exclusively, right? 118 million reais from Olympique de Marseille. Flamengo didn't accept it. We shared this information as an offer was also coming in for Leo Pereira. The situation has changed. A new international offer will be analyzed, and Flamengo may in fact negotiate Jorge Carrascal. Let me talk a little bit now about Flamengo's preparation for the trip to Portugal. Yeah, we have a gem from the under-16 team, right? Training with the main squad, a great gem of Flamengo. This kid is impressive. He's been highly rated. Okay, in Flamengo's return for the mid-season training, one of the new things was the presence of Rafinha. Another one who's doing really well is Josmar. Okay, guys, Josmar, remember these names. These are players who are emerging as top prospects. Josmar, in fact, Vini mentioned that he should be traveling to Portugal. Okay. So, you see, opportunity is part of the integration process between the youth academy and the professionals and reinforces the club's confidence in the athlete's talent, right, Rafinha, who we're talking about here? Yeah, a player who came from the under-16 team. Rafinha is gaining experience and having his first interactions with Flamengo's first team. It's impressive. Okay, that's information from Angelo Furtado, the reporter. Yeah, we also have some important information here that some players from Flamengo's under-20 team, and I confirmed this information that came out a few days ago, it's already been confirmed, are being considered for the trip Flamengo will make for the mid-season training camp in Portugal. Yeah, one of them I mentioned is Jorge Josmar, a forward who stands out in the under-20 squad with 8 goals in 21 matches for Flamengo this season. The management believes that the 17-year-old athlete has characteristics that can add to the squad during this period of training in Portugal. So, Flamengo is taking Josmar. Okay. Another important piece of news for us to bring here is that midfielder Nicolas de la Cruz could be one of the new faces in the Uruguayan national team for the match against Cape Verde. According to Bruno Lemos, who works there with Mauro Santana, the Flamengo player has a good chance of starting the match. Yeah, the athlete started the match against Saudi Arabia on the bench, came on during the second half, and put in a good performance. So, there's a chance that Nicolas de la Cruz will start against Cape Verde, a decisive match for Uruguay. Is that right? So that's it. We're bringing you some information about Flamengo players in the national teams and also about Flamengo's young players, right? In this special coverage here in Portugal. The coaching staff wants to take advantage of players who have already returned from their national teams as well as young players that Flamengo wants to start evaluating. As I'm telling you, they're going to use some of the under-20 players, and in the next few days, they'll decide which of them will travel. And then Josmar's name, the information is that Josmar is already confirmed as a player. So, from the under-20s possibly going to Portugal. What do you think? Flamengo always, right, man? Flamengo is always revealing great young players. And my friends, didn't I tell you that Everton Araújo wanted to stay at Flamengo? That Flamengo didn't want to negotiate, and that this guy, look, he doesn't have an agent messing with his head. He doesn't want to leave Flamengo. He wants to be valued. He wants to stay there. He has a history with the club. That's a perfect fit for Flamengo. Watch interviews our partner Angelo Furtado and our reporters conducted at Nilo do Nindorubu and shared with us. Look how amazing this is, okay? Everton Araújo talking about an offer he didn't accept, right? Talking about his dream at Flamengo, which is to win the Club World Cup. Man, this kid here talked about Leo Nanete. I'll leave it with you so we can wrap up these interviews with Everton Araújo, which are amazing.
Yeah, I don't think there's a specific name. It's about the whole project and the whole process, right? There are several players I look up to and learn from more and more every day. Other players who have already left, like Gerson, like David Luiz. So all these players, taught me a lot. But today, in the squad, the guy I talk to a lot, who I learn a lot from, is definitely Jorginho. Yeah, not just him, but also Pulgado, because of the position too. And I'm grateful for the tips, for the advice, and I'm improving more and more. What?
Flamengo had a turbulent first half of the year with a coaching change, some eliminations, and the Carioca Championship. How was your first day back at the training center after vacation? What can you do to make the rest of the season smoother and hopefully celebrate a title again by year's end?
It was very smooth. Today, coming back, our team, everyone is in a good mindset. Everyone is on the same page with the same mindset, focused on reaching the end of the year and, God willing, winning more titles.
Everton, I wanted you to talk a little about your expectations, how things are going with the whole group, about the mid-season training in Portugal. You guys are going to face Benfica, right? They're a strong opponent. How are things in the locker room right now?
The moment is as good as it can be. I think we always have to keep a good mindset, take it one step at a time. We showed up today and had a good training session. Let's have a good week next week too, so we can get there and for sure give our best. God willing, everything will work out.
Hi, Everton. Yeah, the event we saw here talked a lot about the preparation Flamengo does for the youth players, right? But there's also that professional arrival, right? That transition for you. Yeah, handling fans' pressure and immediate demands for results can't be easy, right? We saw many players here handle pressure, like Idir, who rebuilt his career, went to Europe and the World Cup, but was unfortunately cut. You experienced that initial pressure, but regained your starting spot. Now, you're clearly the main defensive midfielder. How was it for you, man, to deal with that initial pressure and stay focused? How did Flamengo prepare you for this moment of pressure that you're facing?
We all go through a process in life, right? Yeah, we don't arrive ready. We build our foundation. It's all part of our dream. You're wearing the jersey, you're representing the professional team, but it's all a process. Not many players arrive like that and are able to show their best right away. Yeah, we move up, we go through the process until we reach our best. And that's how it happened with me. Like you said, it happened with Wesley too. There were moments of criticism, but we knew how to wait, we knew how to work, we knew how to listen to the criticism too, to see what we could improve. And today he's living our dream and experiencing the best of everything. Oh God.
Everton, like you, Leo Nanetti is making history there with the Brazilian national team. How have you seen this player's evolution and his moment now with the national team at the World Cup?
I believe this is a very important and special moment for him, being able to experience this with our stars from the Brazilian national team. I believe he's learning a lot, and this will be a unique moment for him. It gives him even more motivation to achieve his dream of wearing the Brazilian national team jersey at the World Cup.
Look, you were almost out of Flamengo, right? There was a loan deal almost finalized, but things ended up changing direction like that. Yeah, I wanted to understand if there was a moment when you realized your future would actually be here at Flamengo. Yeah, how was that moment like, when you thought, no, I was almost out, but I got this chance, I'm going to take it? And was there a moment when you actually looked and said, no, I think my future is here? Yeah.
So actually, I never really took my mind off Flamengo, I did get an offer from another team, but I didn't want to go. No, I didn't want to go, but the offer came and I had to go because there was no space for me on the professional team here. But the truth is I didn't want to leave. And like I say, God prepares everything the way it has to be, and things just happened. Things happened the way they were supposed to, and then I started getting my opportunities. I kept improving, I kept moving up, and I'm still here today, thank God. So, Beto, what is your biggest dream at Flamengo? My biggest dream at Flamengo? I think it's the Club World Cup, right? It's the Club World Cup for sure. Yeah, I had the opportunity to win the Libertadores and the Brazilian League. Yeah, I'm very happy, very, very grateful for everything I've been through, for everything I've experienced, for everything I'm learning. But I think it's every player's dream, here at Flamengo. At this moment, I think being world champion, which last year we were so close to, but I believe that at the right time it will happen. All right.
What's your relationship with Leo Jardim? You've become Leonardo Jardim's trusted man. So how did this change happen? How did Thiago da Silva become close to Leo Jardim? What's his background? How have you seen this new phase?
It's a very good relationship, just like with all the other players. Yeah, I believe that he gave me a longer run and then I was able to show more of my football. I'm happy. I thank him for that, for learning more and more, and I hope I keep playing, right? All right.
That's it. I invite you to follow, like, and share on all platforms. If you're on YouTube, I invite you to subscribe down here, turn on notifications and the bell, and leave that awesome like on the video. Greetings, red and black fans. This is Flamengo. Thanks.